50 amateur fights. Southampton Amateur Boxing Club. They're not a massive club, so I was the first person to win for England boxing for them. Because I went to Russia 3 times.
Three times?
Yeah, 3 times, 3 Europeans. And I went to Ukraine as well for a World Championships. So yeah, all this is, it's all character building. It. Now I look back at it, I'm like, Jesus, like, and it's made me into the fighter I am today, I think. I was 17, just started working with Wayne. He got a call from Graham Everett, I think, to like seeing if we had any sparring for Liam Walsh. He had a fight coming up, and obviously they was over in Tenerife. So then we went over to Tenerife for a week, and that was the first proper hard bit of sparring I had against proper pros. Obviously I won a junior European gold, so I boxed 4 times. I think I boxed Turkey, Italy, Armenia and an Irish. But yes, I won the European gold. So all round, that's obviously my biggest achievement as an amateur and that. So that was my biggest buzz.
So, right, I'm absolutely glad to have you on. Well, you're coming off of a big stoppage win recently. Yeah. Let's talk about that. How was camp leading up to such a big step up in that fight for you?
It was similar to like most camps, you know what I mean? But obviously when you know you're fighting for a title and that, and I knew I had more of a tougher test because obviously the mate I was fighting was a former Spanish champion. So I kind of think you make yourself more focused. You know what I mean, you lock in more. You make sure you diet. You train harder than what you have for the other fights because you know, look, this could be a potential banana skin here. Like potentially, this mate is not no like you say you fight journeyman and we have fights. This mate is not no mug. Do you know what I mean? He's coming to beat me, so I got to be on my A game. If I slip up, then doors closed, don't they? Do you know what I mean? You might not get the opportunities that you do. Promoter might wash around you. Do you know what I mean? Once you get lost that early on in your career.
Do you think that mindset helped you step up with the whole preparation and the fight?
Yeah, and like you say, that mindset kept me. I was wanting to do more training, wanting to do this, so I was putting more work in, do you know what I mean? And I think that's the best shape I've ever been in. That's the lightest I've been for a very long time, do you know what I mean? In the past, when I've had to make weight, and I could come in at about 60 kilos, 61 kilos, and then I was struggling, as you know, like in the past I've like collapsed twice. That's because I wasn't doing stuff right, do you know what I mean? So like, I've collapsed twice, two times at weigh-ins, and that was me weighing in at 60 kilos, do you know what I mean? But I wasn't doing stuff right. But where I was doing everything properly, this is the lightest I've been. Well, I'm 25 now. So I was 58 kilos then. That's maybe the lightest I've been in like maybe 10 years. So maybe not that long, but like 8, 9, 10 years. But I felt good for it. Do you know what I mean? I felt best energetic. I made weight. I could have done lighter, if you know what I mean. So just everything just come together for that fight. And obviously the performance showed in it.
Yeah, what a performance.
Yeah.
You stole the show that night.
Yeah, and like I say, not only my performance, I think as well, it was the support I had in there. Like everyone has said to me since they was watching on TV, all they could hear was like Saints songs and that. Do you know what I mean? So not just the performance style, I think the fans. And Frank, luckily Frank was there to witness that. Like he witnessed like the fans that I had and how loud they was. And he was saying to us straight after that. Obviously I was leaning out the ring. Obviously he's congratulating me and that. But he was like, we need to get a show on down Southampton. And I think from them fights and how we had the support, but it's only going to grow from there. That was a Friday night in London, so we could have done more tickets if it was like a Saturday night, if you know what I mean. Because it's hard, people got to take time off work to go there. But yeah, I think in the future, I think my fan base is slowly increasing now, and I think we're just going to sell more and more tickets, and then hopefully me and Wayne's aim one day do St Mary's.
Yeah, it'll be great.
And
you've got the platform, you've got the promoter.
Yeah.
So even just for any boxing fan that didn't know you that night, for them to watch you put on such a dominant performance, it makes them want to watch you again. They're going to go straight onto their socials. They're going to look up Ryan Garner, and they're going to give you a follow. So just doing what you're doing and being exciting is just going to grow you astronomically anyway.
Yeah, 100%. I think my style is a real fan-friendly style. So the more people watching me, the more they're going to want to watch me, if you know what I mean. I've never been one to, like, not when he's counter boxers and those stuff. Don't get me wrong, I can box if I need to sometimes, but my style is more action. I like to get in there, have a nice fight, do you know what I mean? But technically a fight, if you know what I mean. Come forward on the front foot, but do it a bit more savvy, do you know what I mean? A bit more brains behind it.
Yeah.
So, but I think, if the more people watch me, the more they're going to want to watch me. And that's the kind of style that fills out like the St Mary's stadiums, like these other big arenas. Do you know what I mean? You need a fight. Can't just be a boring boxer you might sell to. No one wants to come and watch a boring fighter today. So I think my style in the long term, that will get people drawn in to come and watch me.
Yeah, and you are in a stacked division as well.
Yeah.
So when you get to the big world level, there is so many big names, big fighters that people are going to be knocking on the door anyway.
Yeah, super featherweight's always been a very, very stacked division. You know what I mean? Look at all these great fighters. They've all been, even though they've gone up in the weights, they've all like been at the super featherweight. So it's always been loads of good fights.
My name is Dennis McCann, professional boxer for Frank Moore and MTK Global. This is Fortress Boxing. A lot more protection. It's a no-brainer around your thumbs, around your knuckles, around your wrist. That's exactly where I have the problems at. They're very compact, so I feel like I'm punching hard with them on as well. And I feel like when you got sparring 14, 16 ounce gloves, the smaller wraps can't really. They're too small for the gloves. That makes sense. So these are a bit bigger, and they're getting the gloves a bit more. They're making them more compact. 1, 2, go.
So going back to, I didn't actually know. So you said you've collapsed 2 times from weight cuts.
Yeah.
What was it you were doing wrong at those times compared to what you do now?
Just cutting corners, mate. Like, this is years ago. I can't remember how long ago it was, but it was years ago. Yeah, just cutting corners, mate. Do you know what I mean? Not doing stuff outside of the gym right. Not doing the weight. Like, yeah, just trying to lose too much, too quick. Too close to the weigh-in. Do you know what I mean? Thinking, yeah, I do. You know, when you're young, you're young and dumb, and you think you know what's best. Obviously, I didn't know what's best. But then since all that happened, after the last time it happened on the Billy Joe Saunders and Stevens, I think, I know getting to know my nutritionist Paul O'Neill, and then since then we've done all right. And like you said, the last fight, the lightest I've been for like 8-9 years, and it's the best I've felt. And as you can see by the performance, it showed. So I think getting a nutritionist on board, Paul O'Neill, was the biggest thing for me.
So Paul O'Neill, as soon as that happened, you had him on board.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing working with him every single camp, I'm guessing you're naturally you're progressing so much more on that
like
side already, right?
Massively with him helping me out, but me myself off my own back. Now that you pick up things each camp, do you know what I mean? I'm doing. He tell me what to eat, what to do this, and then I start. Since we've been together quite a few camps now, so I pick up stuff myself. Like, so I'm not coming in as heavy. Before, say I'd have a fight, I'd come back in the gym like 70, 71 kilos. Do you know what I mean? That was, but then now I don't even come in that heavy. I come back at like 66 kilos. So just like off my own back, as well as obviously having Paul on board, it's just slowly over the years kept on improving.
That's so good. And how do you find, even with the weight cutting, do you find it a lot easier with him where you've got like a routine now? So every single camp, it's really going through the motions.
It's good to have someone there on board who knows what they're doing. Do you know what I mean? Because I could make a stupid decision what I think's right, but realistically it isn't right. And then for my last fight, like Paul was there in the morning on the way in. He's in my hotel room with me. He's got a little, obviously in the morning, like you have get like a hot bath or something just to get the last couple pounds off. But he was there, our hotel, and he had a shower. But luckily, obviously, he's got all the gear, and he had like a little portable bath, so he was in there filling up in the shower and that. So stuff like that, all massive. Like I was older, I could have been stuck. Like if he didn't have all this gear with like this portable bathtub and that, then it wouldn't have been as easy to make weight because I would have had to. Because the hotel don't have no bath, so I would have had to go out when you're on less energy because you're cutting weight. Go and do a run with a sweatsuit on or something. But in the bath, it's easier. Like you just sit, you're not burning as much energy, are you? You're just cutting a little bit of water out. So all them kind of things, it's massive to have like someone like Paul on board.
Yeah, and how did you find your performance as well? Like even in camp, if you've got your nutrition right, you're probably not having inconsistent days where one day you feel great, the next day you might be sparring and you just feel flat.
Yeah.
Have you found it a lot more consistent where you've been able to just grow as a boxer?
Yeah, 100%. Like you said, so if you ain't doing your nutrition right, you could have peak days where you're feeling amazing, and then other days you're feeling flat as a pancake. But yeah, I think I was more consistent even with the sparring. I was getting better and better. Do you know what I mean? As you should. As the camp goes along, you should be getting better. Whereas if I was maybe doing my nutrition myself, where I'm not doing things right, like thinking this food's all right, but it's not all right at the right times and stuff like that. But with Paul's guidance, that's why every spar, every like training session, as the camp was going along, I was just getting better and better, as you should. Whereas like if it was doing it myself, I might have have off days, good days, off. Do you know what I mean? It fluctuates, which ain't the right way to do it. But if you slowly increasing, then come fight night, you're peaking just perfect, and then you're gonna get the best of yourself, ain't you?
Definitely. So I just had your coach on before this. I
Yeah.
knew you've sparred some world champions and great people. I would love to hear from you firsthand some of the people you've sparred, how it's been, at what point in your career, what you've learned.
Yeah.
I feel like that is probably part of the reason why you are progressing and doing so well now, right?
Yeah,
The
100%.
opportunities.
I think my first like big sparring like with pros and that, when I was 17, obviously I hadn't even turned pro then, but we was going through like sorting out my turning over, do you know what I mean, having a meeting with the board and that. But just before that, I was 17, just started working with Wayne, and he got a call from Graham Everett, I think, to like seeing if we had any sparring for I think it was Liam Walsh, I think, for Liam Walsh. He had a fight coming up, and obviously they was over in Tenerife, and then Wayne was like, look, I've got this young up and coming featherweight at the time when I was only 18, and he was like, yeah, perfect, bring him over. So then we went over to Tenerife for a week, and that was the first like proper hard bit of sparring I had against proper pros. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, when I was still amateur, I was sparring amateurs all the time, but yeah, that was massive learning for me, like seeing what they do, how they train, and how they live their life. So I think Ryan and Liam Walsh are the first like proper people that I sparred and that were proper pros, like with titles and stuff like that.
How was the trip? Obviously, you're going out there. You've got a big ask to be a good sparring partner. You're in you're uncomfortable. You're out your comfort zone. How was that whole entire thing? Did you thrive off of it? Did you feel like it was probably the best thing to happen for you, being called out there?
Oh, massively. Like, it was a big thing for me. Where I was only 17, and it was kind of like I'd done really well. Do you know what I mean? But it's the kick up the arse you need, because like you think, whoa, like these are on like next level, and you think, right, now I've got to up my game and do it, because I was like training with him, was going for runs in the morning, going up the mountain, doing circus stuff with him, just being in the gym with him, and then you pick up things that you think, right, you think you're ready. I'm only 17. Do you know what I mean? You think you're ready, but look how these lot train. You need to be training like them, and then it's made me. Then you start picking up on things, training hard and doing stuff like that.
Definitely. And then who else later on in your career have you been sparring with?
Went up here. I think we'd done 2 days. Like I think that was the next person I sparred was Josh Warren, and obviously my cut man Frank Hopkins, a big part of our team. He's done his whole career as well, and I think it was after my debut. I think it was like the week after my debut. They mentioned about sparring, and Frank was like, look, yeah, I'll bring Ryan up. We'll do a couple of days up there. So me and Frank drove up there to Leeds. We sparred on the one day and then sparred again the next day. But like that was massive. Like you've seen what he's done. He's 2-time world champion. I think he's 2 or 3-time world champion now. But it was mental. Like when I watched him on the TV, yeah, I was only 18 at the time. When I watched him on the TV, you're like, he ain't that, like, do you know what I mean? He ain't that good as what you think, yeah. But then when you're in there with him, you're like, oh no, he closes the distance well. Do you know what I mean? He's there, and then his jab, it's unexpected how good that he is in real life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we've done 2 days up there, and it was good, and it was really good. And I haven't been back at the sparring yet, like since. But I know that's stuff in the line because he's still fighting it now. But and then I went sparred like people like Carl Frampton. Carl Frampton was the next one I think that I sparred, like the big name. Went down.
And that was at like the peak of his career, right?
Yeah. I think that I can't remember who I sparred him for that fight, but when he was with McGuiggins anyway, went down there. Actually, I'll tell you what it was. It was he was supposed to fight that Mexican in Ireland, but obviously we'd done all the training camp. I was up there sparring with him like 2-3 times a week. Done that for like 2 or 3 weeks. But then I think that the Mexican that he was supposed to fight fell over in the shower, didn't he? Smashed all his face up, so that fight got postponed and that. And that's when he was with McGuiggins. And then
they end up fighting in like, was it 2017? Was that January?
Yeah,
no, January 2018 or
yeah,
something
like that. But the fight never happened, did it? Because he fell over in the shower, smashed all his teeth up, and that he had to have like plastic surgery. I don't know what happened, but it was a bit of a weird one. I'd be fuming if that was me, like doing all that training, obviously the money. Anywhere he's
Have you had that yet? Have you had some pullouts in the pros?
Oh, mate, there's been loads of different like things. Like we're going up to the weigh-in and that. No, not to the public workout. Like we had Frank Warren had like a Friday show at York Hall, and then the next day they had a Saturday show at York Hall. So it was 2 different shows from Frank Warren on the same weekend. I think Mark Chamberlain was fighting on the Friday show. I was on the Saturday show, so but they had public workouts up at the Peacock. So we was just leaving to go to London to go to the Peacock, and then they rang up and go, the Friday show's still on, which Mark was on. That's still on, but the Saturday show's being postponed now. Saying obviously because the main events all got changed about and that. So I'm like, we was just about to leave to go to London, and I was like, I'll just turn back and just drop me back now because the fight's not happened. Just loads of different things like that, and obviously.
How tough was that for you? Obviously, you'd sold tickets, you'd had a whole camp. How was that for you? That big letdown.
Mate, it's frustrating. There were so many different times in my career where I'm thinking, mate, I don't know why I'm doing this. Like, I don't even want to do this anymore. And little things like this always pop up, and like it's not all plain sailing. Is what people think. Everyone thinks, oh, you're a pro. It's a smooth ride. Do you know what I mean? It's never not. It's never not.
Do you find boxing's the easy part? The actual
more
boxing?
or less, yeah. There's a lot of politics in boxing, isn't there? Then the fighting's the actual easy part, but it's just being able to get in the ring with these politics, like say the show's getting cancelled and that. And I remember once I was supposed to fight on a weekend, and then like normally they keep you up to date with when your brain scans are out of date and stuff like that, and then it was like 3 days before, 4 days before, they goes, oh, Ryan's brain scan's out of date. We're like, bloody hell, you ain't even got enough time to get it done by then. So that was another reason. I've had like, God knows how many shows that are supposed to have happened while I was supposed to be on, and obviously some of my fault, like collapsed in the weigh-ins. Some have been like them things, like brain scans out of date, shows getting cancelled. I've had like few shows like on the week of the fight getting postponed and stuff like that. It's just loads of different things. So getting in there and fighting is the easy part. It's actually getting dates to actually get in the ring and fight. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Have you found it hard as well with the people that follow you, where obviously they're all being let down as well by things that are out of your control? It's I'm sure that must be hard to then get the momentum back for, right, I've got this date, this is, trying to get that hype again around you and being back on that path. It must be quite difficult. Obviously, you're focusing on that so much when you still got to do how many sessions per day, you've got to perform, and you're sparring world champions. And, it's a lot to take on.
Yeah, it's hard. Like, it's hard to please everyone, do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, like, you got to run around, sell tickets and that. Like I've done, like say with these shows getting cancelled, I'm running around selling all these tickets, and then obviously, then the shows getting cancelled the week of. I've got to run around, going around giving everyone's money back. So the training is the easiest part, really. It's going around doing all this and that. It's frustrating.
And financially as well, have you got some sponsors on board? Do you have quite a good backing in that sense?
It's just starting to get better now. But like in my other fights, like I was just nitpicking, like the low area, where you was just saying about momentum. I didn't have no momentum. I was fighting once. I think before this year, I've had 2 fights this year. About to have a third at the end of the year. So this is and the 2 years before that, so last year and the year before that, I had 1 fight each year. So I had no momentum. That's why it was hard to get sponsorship back in there. Like, because is he actually going to fight? Do you know what I mean? Because I had all these postponements and stuff like that, so it's hard to get actual sponsorship. But now I'm starting to get a bit of momentum. My ticket sales now, because I've had we're going to have 3 back to back, and the momentum and the performance I've been putting in this year, the last 2 fights, the momentum's starting to grow again now. People are wanting to jump aboard a sponsorship, do you know what I mean? Because they're seeing that, look, he's doing things, he's winning titles, he's being busy. So the momentum's still definitely growing now. Whereas before, the couple of years before, I was nitpicking getting like for sponsorship, like getting a couple £100 from people here just to help cover like the medical bills and stuff like that every year. So I kind of like was just taking what I could get before for sponsorship, but now I'm in a position where I've got a title now and I'm out regular, me and more busy, that you can, I'm not just going to take these little couple £100 just to get me by, do you know what I mean? I'm looking to try and get some proper backing from proper sponsors, do you know what I mean? So then, because before, I was working in that as well as training before fights.
What did you do for work?
Hog carrying,
Okay.
Hog carrying, so brickies labourer.
Yeah.
So it was hard graft. People say like hard graft. So I was getting up like 5:30 in the morning to walk the dog because I got a dog. Walk the dog before work, and then getting picked up at 7:30. Then getting home at like 4ish. Then having to go to the gym, and obviously it was just too much. So since my last fight where I won the title, I haven't gone back to where I just started doing a few 1-to-1s, do you know what I mean? Just try and bring some money to cover my bills, because I've just had I got nearly an 8-month-old daughter now, so my missus is still on maternity, so she's only on statutory pay now. So I'm having to fork out all the rent, all the bills at the moment. So that's why I just started doing some 1-to-1s just to keep some money coming in for the bills, do you know what I mean? So now I don't have to go back to work, go on a builder's site, and then just knackered every day. So yeah.
Yeah, well, congratulations on your family.
No sound.
And it sounds like it was perfect timing, really, for your baby now. Obviously, it sounds like you've had a really good year with all the momentum's here now.
No, since she's been born, mate, obviously she was born in January, it's just given me that different mindset with everything, putting the work in, because I it's not just for me no more, is it? I've got a daughter, I've got a missus. I want to be able to buy my own house. Like, I'm renting at the moment, it's dead money, innit?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just going to nothing. So I want to be able to keep winning these fights, earn as much money as I can to buy a house for me and my family. Do you know what I mean? To set us up for the future, because boxing's not a long career, is it?
Mm-hmm.
By the time I'm 30, just say I could be well and done in boxing. Hopefully, I want to have financially supported ourselves by then. Do you know what I mean? By the time I finish my career, to have like a house and stuff like that.
So that was going to move on to my next question. What are your goals in boxing as a pro? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Mate, my main goal is just to earn as much money as I can. Do you know what I mean? I don't care about like fame and stuff like that. I'm not fussed. I just want to earn literally as much as I can, just to be able to have a good life. Really, buy a house. That's my main aim. I've been saying it for years now. Like, I ain't lived at home for about 3 years since me and my missus got together. So we've been renting and doing this and that, just renting. It's all dead money, innit? So my aim is just to be able to buy a house. That's what I've always wanted. Because I wanted to, like me and my missus say, like, get a nice house. Do you know what I mean? Have a nice family. Little bar at the bottom of the garden, do you know what I mean? So you can have, like, see your summer days, you have all your friends around, all your family around, stuff like that. That's what really drives me, do you know what I mean? That's all I want is my house.
Well, I've no doubt, obviously, on the path you're on, it's going to come, so...
Hopefully, mate, like I said, the path we're on now, this year, since she's been born, my daughter's been born, it's all been positive. Like, everything's going in the right direction, and hopefully some big fights are on the horizon to earn this big money, and then, do you know what I mean? That's what I just want to keep staying busy, because since I've been busy this year fighting back to back, staying in camp, I'm starting to fully actually show how good I am at fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in the past I've had where we stop start career, I've not been able to show my full potential. Like, they've been like stale fights because I'm just getting back, rusty and that. I'm not showing. But these last two fights, obviously my last two fights have both been stoppages, and I've looked good doing it. So I think because I'm in the gym and staying busy, and now I'm looking at my real self. So hopefully I can keep that momentum going now. Definitely.
When you signed as a pro, is this how you envisioned it so far? Did you think it was going to be smooth sailing, or?
Well, at the time I didn't really know how pro boxing was like. Do you know what I mean? But now I've been in the game pro boxing for 7-8 years now, nearly. Now I understand it more. When I was 18, you think it's just going to be one straight road. Do you know what I mean? This fight, that fight, this fight. But it's not. There's a lot of politics in boxing, isn't there? But
Have you had a good team around you throughout
always,
it?
I've had the same team that I have now that I did from the start. Obviously, I got Wayne Bam, my trainer, Frank Holman's cut man. They're the two people that have been in from the get go. And obviously, I got my running coach Paul Aslett. He's been there from pretty much the beginning as well. And obviously, we've had people come on board like my nutritionist Paul O'Neill. Just had Tom Staines come on board as my strength trainer. So yeah, but the main people that have been there from the start is obviously Wayne and Frank Hawkins. So hopefully, I can finish my career with the same people.
Yeah, definitely. And there's a lot of talent in your gym as well. Mm-hmm. So obviously you're all thriving off of each other.
Yeah.
The amateurs. I don't know much about your amateur career.
Yeah.
But, can you tell me a bit about your amateurs?
I think I had like 50 amateur fights. I don't know why it's an amateur, like for my club, Southampton Amateur Boxing Club.
What club?
Southampton Amateur Boxing Club.
Okay.
Yeah, not a massive club, but I think I was the first person from the club to actually win like proper competitions. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think I was the first person to box for England, win for England for them. I think that's what I mean. They're not a massive club, so the first person to win for England boxing for them. I won 3 national titles, back to 2 schoolboys, and then the junior ABA. So all 3 back to back.
Wow.
When I went to the nationals first year, I lost it in the final, and then I won 3 in a row, and that was the only ones I went in national. And
when did you start boxing?
I went in the first gym when I was first 10 years old. Yeah. I had my first fight at 11. But, mate, if I look, I remember when I was 11, like, I was fighting. Mate, I had one arm down here, like, walking forward like a robot, do you know what I mean? Technically terrible, do you know what I mean? I was just tough and pretty and game, do you know what I mean? When you like that as a kid, you just want to fight, don't you? So that's what I was, just game as a kid.
But sometimes that can win you fights if you're more athletic and you're more game in a fight.
You're strong and game. Because as kids, a lot of people are they're nervous, aren't they, like kids and that. But me, I was just like, where are two older brothers? I was fighting all the time. Do you know what I mean? I was that mouthy little kid, so I just loved fighting. So me, I was just getting in there, having a little tear up. Do you know what I mean? So that's what I think got me through the first years, and obviously then I started to get technically better and stuff like that. But yeah.
And did you come from a boxing family, or was you the first one to sort of enter a boxing gym?
Nah. I think my brothers went when I was younger, but they weren't up to nothing. They went for like a little while, and then that was it. Then I went in the gym when I was like say 10, because I was fighting with my brother. I've got two older brothers.
Mm-hmm.
I was always fighting with them, and that. So I was like, nah, I want to go into boxing now. But I was more playing football when I was younger, and that was my thing. I thought it was gonna be, but as you do, every kid wants to be a footballer. But then I started taking up boxing. I was doing them both at the time, football and boxing. But then I was boxing. Then I started to fight. I started competing. Then I started to win stuff. Like I said, I started to win the nationals and that, getting the finals. And then started winning them. And then it slowly progressed. And I started to box for England. Obviously, won the GB Three Nations. Then I won a European gold, a junior European gold. And then, it just boxing started to take over more than football. And I thought, right, football is a very hard road to actually make something off, innit?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm winning these fights, like winning competitions, fighting for England, going to Russia and Ukraine now. So I realised that I really had something going for me more.
When did you have that realisation to sort of put boxing first?
I think I was like 14, 15. I think that, well, it was a little while ago now, but I think I was 14, 15 at the time. That's when I realised, do you know what I mean? Like I said, I was boxing for England a lot. I had about 20 fights for England.
How did you find going to school as well as juggling that and everything else?
I don't know. I don't think the score in that was that bad. Yeah, like.
They probably did they have lots of praise for you? And
yeah, they loved
else,
it. They loved it. Like I say, when I was going away with England, I was going to Russia, and I went to 3 European championships, world championships in Ukraine. All these things. The school did always back me with it. They're like, look, I'm going to Russia for these Europeans. I won't be in school this time, because it was like at that time. They was like, yeah, do you know what I mean? Go do your thing, like, because obviously they couldn't stop you really. I'm going to box for England, so it'd be naughty if they did. But yeah, so they did have good backing with me.
So boxing out in Russia at 14, 15, how was that experience? Who was the coaches you went with? Was it must have been a right eye opener going from Southampton Boxing Club to that?
I think well, to be fair, my first going abroad trip was in 2012. I went to the Philippines. Went and boxed in the Philippines. That was my first like, international going away. That I went with England. I think that was just like there was a couple. There was a gym, Victory ABC. They're from like Gosport, I think, and then some other fighter from Portsmouth. No, Harry Lindburn from Eastleigh. So Harry Lindburn's coach, he took Harry, and then some other fighter, his coach from Victory, took him to Philippines. And they said to my coach Gary White and Kenny, does Ryan want to come out with us? Obviously, I didn't go with no trainer. I just went with them, and then we went out there for 2 weeks. Yeah, what was 2012? I don't know how old I was young, doing 12, 13. But yeah, we went out there for a week training over there in Cebu.
Was you training with all the Filipinos?
Filipinos, yeah.
Was it their national team or anything?
No, it was in the pro gym. It was the Ala Boxing gym. It was like a pro-am gym, but a lot of pros. I can't remember the fella's name, yeah. There was a little world champion, small, weren't they? But yeah, so he's training out there, sparring and that. And then we had a fight. That was the maddest experience. Like I'm 12, 13. Honestly, it was they had like a little show out there, but it was on the side of a road. Like honestly, mate, and like them like India and like Philippines, all these Asian countries, they're all like zinging around on cars, motorbikes, and they're like, there's no traffic control, is there? Not like in England.
Anything goes.
Yeah. And then it was literally on the side of the road. Like you had the ring down the road. You had like a bit of a. It was like a little car park and then the main road. But, mate, yeah, we was just fighting there. Everyone's just surrounding the ring. And there's like 1,000 mosquitoes flying above the ring and that, yeah. It was mental. And then obviously you can hear all the traffic and that.
So you warm up, you got the mozzie spray on.
Yeah, everything. But then you're in the ring. All you can see is just traffic zooming by. Just roads right next to you, do you know what I mean? Like, that would never stand in these countries, would it? Do you know what I mean? Health and safety and all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously the box out there, I didn't win, but yeah, it was just a good experience all in all. Like, it's different atmosphere and it builds your character, do you know what I mean? There's a lot of pressure in there, like a lot of randomers, different country, all this kind of stuff. And I went on my own. Obviously, I didn't have no training, none of my trainers there, no family or nothing. So it built character. And that was when I was going away, same with the Europeans and the Worlds. It built character, like, to like how I am now and that, because
Did you realise at the time just how much you grew from it, or was it more now looking back?
But now that I'm older, like, then I'm a kid. You wing it, don't you? When you're that young, you just go with the flow. You don't. I can't really remember what, but you just go with it. You're buzzing because you're going away to these countries. You're boxing for your country. You love it, don't you? Do you know what I mean? But now I look back, it definitely built character, who I am now and who I am a fighter. Because I went to Russia 3 times.
3 times?
Yeah, 3 times, 3 Europeans. And I went to Ukraine as well for a World Championships. So yeah, all this it's all character building. It. Now I look back at it, I'm like, Jesus, like, and it's made me into the fighter I am today, I think. And be able to handle the pressure as I do. Do you know what I mean? I not really get phased. You get a bit nervous now when you're going into a ring and that. But I think doing all these trips when I was younger, do you know what I mean? Going with none of my coaches, just going with the England coaches and no family there supporting you, fighting in front of all these people. Do you know what I mean? That definitely built character, and that's why I think it makes it easier for me now when I get in a ring for these pro TV cameras on. Do you know what I mean? I can handle the pressure a bit more.
Yeah, definitely. And what do you think was your best win as an amateur? Your best performance?
I
guess 2 different ones there. Yeah, best win, best performance.
Yeah, I don't know. I remember my best performance maybe, like, would be, I think, boxed some London kid. He had already. This is in, what was it? It was in the championships. I think it was schoolboys or the juniors. Can't really remember, but it was Southern Counties versus London. I was boxing a kid, Tyrone Winters. He was a good kid. He boxed for Repton at the time. Good kid. And I think the good thing about it, it was one of my best wins as well. I boxed him like a couple of months before on his show just to get warmed up for the championships. So I boxed him a couple of months before. I went to a Repton show in London, like in one of these little social clubs as you do, you know what I mean? And he beat me fair and square. He beat me then, do you know what I mean? So I sort of kind of made it a bit more bittersweet when I went and boxed him in the championships. But I thought, he's already beat me, do you know what I mean? But I'd done everything right, do you know what I mean? So I knew it was my best performance, so I'd done everything right.
What changed over those few months from you losing against him to you beating him?
I don't know, I don't know. It just happens, doesn't it? Sometimes you turn up on a night, sometimes you don't. But on the night when in the schools when I boxed him, I just done everything right, do you know what I mean? Like, I was just stuck to the game plan, tight guard, just done everything right, and it couldn't have went any better, do you know what I mean?
Sometimes you feel it as well, right?
Yeah, I just knew.
Everything feels good.
I just knew everything was going right, do you know what I mean? This punch was landing, and you weren't getting as caught as much. Everything just went right. That's how I know that was my best performance. But, like, all round would be, obviously, not performance-wise, but, like, all-round winning would have been the European. Obviously, I won a junior European gold. So I boxed 4 times. I think I boxed Turkey, Armenia, Turkey, Italy, Armenia, and an Irish. But yes, I won the European gold. So all round, that's obviously my biggest achievement as an amateur. And that, so that was my biggest.
And who was the toughest fight in that tournament?
Because
sometimes you have your toughest fight in like the first fight, right?
I'd say it was the Armenian. I think it was my second fight. The Turkish I fought first. Then the Italy was the easiest. That was in the semis as well. Do you know what I mean? That should be tougher, shouldn't it? But I think it was the second one. I had Turkey first. That was pretty comfortable. But then I had an Armenian, and they're like strong, little tough, kept coming forward. Do you know what I mean? So that was a close fight, but obviously I won it.
Will you come forward as well in the amateurs? So
I could do it even in pro now. Yeah, I could do both if I need to. Do you know what I mean? I could, but I'm more. Yeah, I could adapt. But I do like more coming forward. Do you know what I mean? That is more my thing. But that's how you don't win like European gold medals and stuff like that. If I'm just a one-trick pony, like just coming forward, like with the Turkish mate, I was just boxing the back foot, same as the Italy and that. But in the Armenians boxing, but then with the Irish in the final, he was like up here, mate. He was like 6 foot something. I was only 5'5" or whatever. Yeah, so I had to stick it on him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what I think makes a good fighter. If you can mix it up, do both. Whereas if you're a one-trick pony, you ain't gonna get to top level. You need to be able to adapt. So yeah. That's what it is, yeah.
Yeah, this shows us how valuable it is as an amateur, how you fought all these different countries, their own styles, taller people, shorter people, like bullies. Like you've had such a good schooling that now you're a pro, sort of it's just getting the right game plan and progressing yourself, focusing more on you than the opponent, I'm guessing.
Yeah, like you say, as an amateur, people always say, do you ever watch your opponents and stuff like that? Like, at this moment in time, I haven't had to really. I think I watched one round at a Spanish fellow I fought last. And then I was overthinking, mate. I was led there. I remember I was led there at night just to overthink. I watched around. I was just thinking, well, why did they do this and that? And I thought, nah, this is no good, man. I'm not because I wasn't sleeping. I was just overthinking. It took me like hours to get to sleep. So as you're doing an amateur, like I rock up at these tournaments in the amateurs, like go to Ukraine, go to Russia and that. I don't know these Armenians, Azerbaijan. I'd never seen them fight. I don't know who they are, do I? So on the day, you just turn out and you got to turn up on the day and fight. So I don't watch them. So even with my opponents now, I think if you watch them too much, you can overthink things, can't you? And then you go looking for a shot and then it don't work. And then you keep looking for it and it's not working. So I do it in sparring. I sort of think I've gone and sparred all these world champions. I've never studied them and see how they fight. So
You just get a feel in the ring and
yeah,
adjust
mate, if you got
accordingly.
like my fights at the moment, 10-round fights. If I can't suss someone out after a couple of rounds, but like 10 rounds, then I'm not as good as what I think I am, if you know what I mean. So you should be a good fighter should be able to suss out another fighter in a couple of rounds. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I never done it in the amateurs. So I'm not going to start doing it now as a pro, am I?
So everyone's seeing you for these stoppages, but
Yeah.
would you say maybe your biggest strength is just adapting to everything?
Yeah. Yeah, like I say, I can adapt to everything. I think I can anyway. But it's just all the little things like, do you know what I mean? Miss this shot, and I can find openings that wouldn't be there normally, or someone else wouldn't be able to find. If you know what I mean, like say I touch the head and drop it to the body or something. Like other fighters that ain't as good wouldn't be able to do that. Do you know what I mean? They'd just be looking for this one shot and it's not landing. Do you know what I mean? So I think it is definitely one of my strengths, being able to adapt.
And do you think the team that you've had since being pro, do you
Yeah.
think it's helped that you've had the same stable and you've had that momentum with them, regardless of obviously what's happened, but do you feel like you've grown as a team together?
Oh, mate, we definitely grown as a team. Like, as most people know in boxing, the road that we've had, the bumpy road over the last 7 years, I mean, I got claps in at weigh-ins, then get suspended because of it and stuff like that. And then, so we've had loads of ups and downs, shows getting cancelled, stuff like that, stuff behind the scenes. So it's built us into a stronger team, if you know what I mean. But we got more trust in each other now. We understand each other more, and we bounce off each other more now. Do you know what I mean? We know each other's. Me and Wayne have been together, working together for 8 years now. Like, he knows me like at the back of his hand, as well as I know him. Do you know what I mean? I know when he's performing at his best. He knows when I'm performing at my best, and he knows the little things that can trigger me. So I think sticking with a team like that, like being with a team, instead of like, see at some fighters, they could be with one trainer, next week they're with another trainer, next week they're with another trainer. You ain't getting the right connection, and if you only get to keep switching up trainers, they ain't gonna know how to get the best out of you because they ain't been with you long enough. Whereas me and Wayne, we've been together for years, so now he knows how to get the best out of me. Do you know what I mean? So that's what I think is massive. Just being able to stick. Even though we had a bumper ride, we're still together now, and now we're starting to reap the rewards from it. Do you know what I mean? All the hard work that we've put in is finally starting to show now, and then we're gonna hopefully keep showing it.
Definitely. So there's quite a few amateurs that watch this, and have you got any advice for the amateurs? And would you say as well, you've learnt more in the amateurs from your losses than you have your wins?
Yeah. Oh, massive, mate. I remember even asking my amateur coaches, yeah, when I used to lose in the amateurs, like, you used to get like pissed off with yourself, if you know what I mean. You think, nah, like what? And then you go back to the gym. You're more like you're fuming that you've lost. So then you start training harder. You start thinking. And I always every time I did have a loss in the amateurs, I would always come back even better. Do you know what I mean? So then you keep winning, and then you lose again. Then you gain even more. So you slowly keep getting better and better because you want to better yourself because you're fuming with no one wants to lose today at the end of the day. So you always want to try and improve yourself. So I think loss is massive. But with amateurs, I think just don't rush everything. Like sometimes I was rushing into fights when I shouldn't be ready. Like I remember I come home from Europeans, and then over there, but when I got knocked out of the competition, I was eating loads of rubbish food over there and put a bit of weight on. And then when I come back, they was like, "Oh, you're fighting in 2 weeks." I'm like, Jesus, you know what I mean? Like I got to lose this weight again. And then so I did it, but then my performance and then I ended up going on a club show and losing, but because I rushed into it. Do you know what I mean? I just done as I told, but I cut the weight like too quick. Do you know what I mean? I should have just said, "No, I won't be ready." And then
so you came off a loss, and then you had 2 weeks of being in a constant calorie deficit. Then you jumped in completely drained.
I was drained. Yeah, so that's what I mean. Just don't rush into it. Make sure you're always feeling at your best. Do you know what I mean? But I was just do as you told. Like I'm old school. Like I used to fight So you're fighting now, okay, yeah, do it. Do you know what I mean? Just get involved with it, do you know what I mean?
Even though you learnt a lot from it, and obviously you'd say don't do it.
Yeah.
Do you sort of feel like you're glad you did, so you learnt from that?
Yeah, like I say, I'm glad I've done it then as an amateur instead of now as a pro. Like, amateurs all willing. You always want to win as an amateur, don't you? Everyone always wants to win, but I'd rather lose in the amateurs. Do you know what I mean? Learn my craft, lose and learn from it, than if I go and lose my next fight. If you know what I mean. Like the pros obviously where it's at. Obviously, that's how you get the big money, the titles and stuff like that, and how you get your name more out there is keep winning the pros. So I'm glad I lost in the amateurs where it's not irrelevant, but it don't really matter, if you know what I mean. Like then it's just you're just an amateur, you ain't gaining nothing from it, nothing. So you learn from it then instead of as a pro, and then now as a pro, hopefully you've learned all your lessons in the amateurs and you can keep winning in the pros.
Mm-hmm. And in terms of sparring, who's been your best spars where they've brought the best out in you, and would you probably use them leading up to like your next few fights or?
Yeah, as of recent, I don't really know. Like, I'd say they're all good. I've had loads of good sparring. I mean, Colin, like I sparred him not this fight, just Colin, the fight before. Yeah, that was quality sparring for me. Do you know what I mean? Like he's such a high level athlete, and he's boxed at world level. Mm-hmm. So it's definitely sparring these bigger names definitely helps progress you as well, brings you on. But even sometimes you spar some other people, you learn from them also. Do you know what I mean? It's good to mix it up. Like I feel you don't need to have that full on sparring, all of that hard sparring, like going to sparring these world champions constantly. Mm-hmm. Then you need to drop down a level and spar people who do you know what I mean? I don't think you need like hard sparring each spar. Mm-hmm. Mix it up, hard sparring, mediocre spar. Do you know what I mean? Like
definitely.
Yeah, I think you can go
your confidence as well. You know, if you are going to get someone that's at the world level, and you aren't just yet, you're going to want to still have confidence and like you said, mix it up in different.
Yeah, 100%. I think you can overdo it as well. Do you know what I mean? In like if you leave it all in the gym, if you're sparring all these hard people week in, week out, 2-3 times a week, you leave it all in the gym, don't you? Then by the time your fight night comes, you're flat, because you've literally exhausted all your energy. So I think you definitely need to get hard sparring, but then not as hard. Do you know what I mean? It's still hard, but not like top world level all the time. Just
how many times do you spar a week?
Me, last couple of fights, two times a week. That's the whole thing you need, really, because you can overdo it, definitely overdo it. Or even like maybe do 3 times a week, but not like
tech sparring.
I'm not really a fan of tech sparring. I don't like it, yeah, because I'm like, do you know what I mean?
It's not really a fight.
Nah, but then you're getting hit with stupid shot, like just technique, and you're like, your head's not in the main because you're not fully focused. You know, tech sparring, you lose interest quick, don't you? It's boring, like. Mm-hmm. But no, I think sparring, but like you don't need to do. So say Monday, Wednesday, Friday, do 10 rounds each day. Like say do a 10 on a Monday, then do 4 or 6 rounds on the Tuesday and the Friday. Do you know what I mean? You don't need to be doing 10 rounds each spar. Just do like 6 rounds hard sparring. You're still getting that's what we've been doing the last couple of counts, me and Wayne, because you're still getting distance, you're slipping, the rolling, do you know what I mean? The feel of the ring, just not as hard and intense, and it takes a toll on your body otherwise. So I think definitely like one longer spar a week, like 10, 12 rounds, and then the other ones, so maybe cut the rounds down a bit to 6, 8, 4, whatever.
Definitely, yeah. Like you said as well, you'll get to the fight and you won't have any fight left. And you see so many fighters have so many gym wars that it ends up sort of shortening their career. You know, if you, like you said, if you want to make as much money as possible, if you're having gym wars 2-3 times a week constantly, by the time you get into your peak in your early 30s, you know, it could be an issue. So it's good that you've got that variety that you pick between.
Yeah, 100%. Like you said, if you have too many gym wars and then tough fights on top of that, it's going to be a very short career. Your body's going to be feeling it by the time you're young anyway. So you definitely got to mix up, as like you say, it will be a short career, even if you don't want it to be a short career.
Yeah. So what's your plans for life after boxing?
Mate, if I'm honest, listen, I like boxing, I love it. It's hard to say, yeah. Sometimes I do, sometimes I hate the sport, if I'm honest. It's tough, Like, I've been doing it 15 years now. Sometimes I think to myself, I can't wait to see the back of it. Do you know what I mean? I can't wait to see the back end of the sport. And then sometimes you get different mood swings. You know what I mean? Some days you love it, sometimes you actually hate the sport. But I don't know, it's hard to say, really. In my ideal situation, I don't know if I want to, I will want to be involved with boxing. I want to do my career, earn my money, and then.
Have you ever had any temptation to think, could maybe look at coaching, maybe punditry, you know? Obviously, if things go to plan how you want and you make a big name for yourself on the world stage, there's going to be so many opportunities in the sport when you're done.
Stuff like that is like maybe it's a bit less toll and it's easier doing a pundit and doing training and that. Like,
it's easy because you know the sport and you've been doing it yourself.
But I mean, it's not as like grueling and dedication as what you have to have in boxing. Like, you got to be so dedicated. You got to make so many sacrifices in boxing. Like, you can't go out do this. You can't, like, do you know what I mean? You had a break sometimes. You know what I mean? Sometimes, like, you just want to come home and just put your feet up and that. But then when you got to go over the gym and that, you can't have that freedom. So that's why sometimes I'm thinking, once I'm done with boxing, I'm done with it. I don't want to see another gym again. Mm-hmm. But there's loads of other things. Like, I've always said I want to do, like, as long as you get enough money in that, I always wanted to get involved in, like, property and that, stuff like that. Just whatever, really. It's something like that. That's always been like, build nice houses and stuff like that and make good money, because you make good money from that as long as you do it right. I don't really know the ins and outs of it yet, but that's always something that's caught my eye. I want to go into property and stuff like that.
Definitely,
so,
yeah, that's a good place. So bricks and mortar, they say, right? Or bricks and mortar is like, it's a definite income.
So I mean, but I've got, first of all, I've got to get my own house first. You know? So I'm still trying to save up, get on the property ladder myself. That's the main thing, and then I'll think about that in the future.
And your family, are you happy with it all now? Do you want to have more kids? Is that what's the plan?
Now I'll have more kids. Yeah, we just had one, but I'm letting my missus have a break at the moment. Now I'll say to her, like, well, obviously we both want more kids, 100%. We definitely want more. Obviously, I've got a little girl now, and as every fighter, they all want a little boy, don't they? Do you know what I mean? So we definitely got to keep going until we get a boy, I think. Definitely, but well, I'm happy at the moment. Like I say, my main thing, I want to get a house now for my family. Like, we're renting a little 3-bedroom house now. Like, kitchen's small though. Do you know what I mean? It's not enough room for if I want to grow and if I want to expand my family, have more kids. This ain't so I need to first of all keep winning these fights, keep earning as much money as I can, so then I can buy a nice house, have a nice garden, all this stuff, and then I think about more family then.
Definitely. And one more question. So I was actually chatting to your coach last about, he said possibly he would like to go to America at some point with you. Would you ever try and have a camp out in America? Because let's face it, America is sort of the face of boxing, and there's so many big superstars out there. For you to have the experience out there as well, to add to your resume, does that appeal to you? Is that something you would love to do at some point?
Massively. Obviously, me and Wayne said about it before loads of time. Obviously, me and Wayne are close. So I mean, we're like a father-son. We obviously trainer-fighter kind of relationship. But we've always said, look, we want to go to America, we want to do this. I'd love to spar some of these people out there. But even just be in the same gyms as them, I know over in England it's different, kind of like their gyms over there, they're proper, they do everything proper, don't they? Like America is proper. But even not just in the boxing, I'd love to go over to just do boxing. But I remember as a kid, I don't know about now that I've got a family and like over here and that, like
they could come with you maybe.
But I'm all about. No, I'd love to go out there, but I'm all about. When I was growing up, I always said, I want to go move to America, go live over there and that, But now I've got.
Where would you move to if you were to?
But now I've got older though, I don't think I could, like, do you know what I mean? I've got my missus, my daughter here, got a dog and that, and obviously then we got our close family around us that are always there, so I don't feel I could move away now. I always wanted to as a kid, and then obviously then box out there. But yeah, I think there's loads of gyms out there as well, isn't there? Like, look at America produces the most world champions, don't they, out of any country, and they are elite fighters out there, so it'd be good to go out there definitely to get a little camp and inspire these people.
Have you been there before?
I went as a kid, only as a baby, like went to Florida as you do you know what I mean? Every family does. I remember I nearly died out there, mate. I nearly drowned, I swear to God.
No.
Yeah, they're lucky, touch wood, we're still here now.
I shouldn't laugh.
Nah, yeah. I was only young, it's funny, like, I remember now I was mucking around with my auntie, squaring her over a water gun thing. But I was only young. I can't remember how old I was. I was only like 3, 4. Couldn't swim or nothing. You know, you have like one of them life jacket things. Like instead of armband, you have a life jacket. And I was running away from her like after squirting, and then I jumped in the pool. Obviously, it's too deep. But luckily, my brother come up and saved me. And that is, but yeah.
No, near miss.
Yeah.
No. So just finishing up, it's been a pleasure having you on. Is there any sponsors you want to thank or anyone in your team you'd
obviously
like to
my last fight, there's a few. These sponsors that sponsor me, obviously, is Muscletone Bullies Australia, Dryler's Dry Line and the Flooring Company. I've got Site Solutions on the back and Terrace Coat on the back. They're the people that sponsored me for my last fight. But hopefully, if people's watching here, I'm really looking for, like, now that I've stopped working, I've got a family to provide for. I'm looking for some big sponsors to come on board to help me so I can concentrate full time. So I don't got to go back to work. Obviously, I've got these sponsors and that. I appreciate everything they've done, but I need to get some massive sponsors. Not massive, but like bigger companies that can help.
Of course, yeah.
To keep me training more, to help cover bills and stuff like that. So if there's anyone out there, yeah, get in contact.
Holler at your boy.
Holler at your boy.
Well, it's a pleasure having you on, mate.
Top man, I appreciate it. Cheers for having me on, mate.
All the best of your career.
My first podcast and hopefully not my last.